Okie dokie, we should be live. We should be live. Yeah, man, just a quick discussion in regards to boxing, the world, anything in it. We'll see what comes up. We'll see what comes up. But yeah, a pretty quiet weekend of boxing. Obviously, last weekend was busy, mainly with Alexander Usyk versus Anthony Joshua, as well as a few other fights. But this weekend is quieter. However, there is one good fight in in America, and that is it's at 140 super lightweight between Richard Comey and Jose Pedraza. That's a really good fight, pretty evenly matched. It's a fight in which I don't really have a dog in the race. I like both guys. I think both guys are class acts. They conduct themselves like fighters. Pedraza is the more naturally talented boxer. I would say he's technically better, but Comey is the more powerful man. So it's a good fight, that one. I think I'm leaning towards Pedraza on points, but, Comey hits hard enough to where he can turn that fight around at any moment. So it's a good fight. And on the undercard, you've got Jared Anderson, who's a good prospect, obviously, in the heavyweight division. And I think there's also a couple of other prospects on that card as well. Let's have a look. Yeah, Richard Torres, another heavyweight prospect. He's on the undercard. Efe Ajagba, he's back. He's fighting a guy called Joseph Damos, who I've never heard of. That's obviously just a random comeback fight. The undercard isn't too great in regards to competitive matchups, but the main event is pretty good. My only complaint, let me move this microphone. My only complaint is really that it's only a 10 rounder. Should be a 12 rounder, man. Should be a 12 rounder. But, again, that's one of those fights where I don't really want either guy to lose because the loser is pretty much done at elite level. And I still think both guys bring something to the table in terms of, just delivering as for us boxing fans, taking fights we want to see. But it's a good fight. I'm leaning towards Pedraza. Pedraza on points for me. Yeah, I've got Pedraza. But again, Comey can turn it around. He can crack. He can really punch. Yeah, Jared Anderson, he's back. Yeah, Anderson hasn't fought in a while. I believe he's been injured, I want to say. I tell you what, I fucking hate BoxRec's new layout. Yeah, you know what? This is Anderson's first fight of 2021. So yeah, he's been out of the ring for some time now. Hopefully after this he stays active, stays injury-free. But he's fighting a guy called Milan Ravachkinin, something like that. He's got a good record, this guy, but he's pretty shit by looks of him. Anderson should take care of the job. Yeah, Torres. Yeah, Torres is on the undercard as well. Yeah, a few heavyweights on there. That could be a big fight in the future. Richard Torres versus Jared Anderson. That could be a big fight in the future. I think that fight could sell. Because I think both guys can develop a fan base. Anderson is charismatic. He's got an interesting style for a heavyweight. He's athletically gifted, puts his shots together well. Whereas Richard Torres, if he can fight a bit, the Hispanic audience are going to gravitate towards him. It's just that simple. So who knows, man? Maybe down the line in a couple of years' time, they could make that fight. Maybe like an American version of Anthony Joshua versus Dillian White. Why not make these fights early? That would be great. What's up, BG? BG London, how you doing, man? Focus on creativity. What's up, Dell? Going to be making a video concerning Fury's insane and absurd demands. I'm really hoping the Fury cult is mainly over there in your country. We have enough sociopaths here in the States. Yeah, I mean, I was debating it, but, Tyson Fury is what he is. I don't really have the energy to talk about him. Ideal world, Alexander Usyk gets the fight and he beats him, and then retires. That would be my ideal outcome. I'd rather see Usyk win than Tyson Fury. I've not been a big Tyson Fury fan in a long, long time. Many a years. I heard Jared will be fighting guys like Hergovich and Zhang next year. Yeah, I heard Bob Arum say that basically, yeah. Maybe Zhang could be possible next year. That could make sense. But again, he's very young. So there's no need to rush Jared Anderson. Just needs to get guys who can really take him rounds. You know? What's up, Randy? How you doing? Yeah, Anderson Teslenko. No, that was last year in December. So yeah, Anderson's not fought since December, which is a long time for a young prospect. It's a long time. You can't be having that sort of inactivity as a young prospect, man. No way. It's just not going to suffice. Big up Marianne G. What's up, man? How you doing? Yeah, 500 million is a joke. We know that's not going to happen. Even if like Saudi Arabia buy that fight, we know it's not going to be 500 million. Christ. It's just Tyson Fury being Tyson Fury, man. It is what it is. But again, if there is a God, Usyk beats Tyson Fury. That'd be hilarious to me, man, if Usyk wins that fight. Good fight, Ralph. It's a really good fight. It's weird. If you asked me 3 or 4 years ago, I would pick Luis Ortiz quite confidently. But right now, I don't think he. Obviously, he's not the fighter he once was. His legs have slowed down. I mean, he was getting hurt on a regular basis against Charles Martin. So I do wonder what happens when Ruiz connects with him. But having said that, Ruiz didn't look good in his last fight either. So I'm leaning towards Ruiz, but I could see it going either way. But I am leaning towards Ruiz. I think Ortiz actually has the style to beat him, but I don't think he's got the legs anymore. I don't think he's got the legs. But he could make it interesting. But I've got Ruiz. Maybe by stoppage, maybe late. Incidentally, speaking of sociopaths, I think I've seen nearly all of the 2,100 videos that you've done on YouTube, revisiting the Jake Paul and post Canelo loss, often for laughs. I didn't see the Marku fight. I didn't see it. I saw the highlights this morning, but I didn't see the fight. That knockdown was bogus. That Florian Marku got, that wasn't a knockdown. It's a very good question. Maybe we get Wilder Ortiz free, BG London, because I'm sure that will make him highly ranked in the WBC if he beats Ruiz. What's up, Jay? I think no disrespect to Luis Ortiz, but it's definitely better if Andy wins. Let's be real. Yeah, what's up, Jay? How you doing? What's up, Jay? Big up, Del. Should Hergovich and Zhang have a rematch? Not sure if Hergovich is ready to fight for a title after that weird performance. Yeah, I think they should rematch. I think the IBF should look at it and say, yeah, that was a controversial decision. It needs to happen again. I felt Hergovich looked dreadful. Based on that performance, he won't be anybody who's anybody in the heavyweight division. He looked dreadful. He looked like he had his mind elsewhere. It was bizarre how he was reacting to punches. Like he'd get hit and then he'd kind of turn away and have a walk. It was weird, man. I thought he was going to quit on a few occasions or do a galota. Really weird performance. I'm not sure whether it's because his dad recently passed. Maybe he's not fully focused, but he looked awful. And I felt if anybody won that fight, it was Zhilei Zhang. I wasn't scoring it round by round, don't get me wrong. But, just by looking at it, I felt Zhilei Zhang did enough. I reckon, 9-3-8-4 is about right. 9-3-8-4. I think AJ obviously won round 9. I think, was it round 6 maybe that he won? And rounds 2 and 3 were very close. I think the best case is 8-4 to Usyk for Joshua. I can't see any more than that. I do think he did better, though, in the rematch. Again, it's weird because the scorecards, most people's scorecards for both fights are the same, but Joshua definitely had more moments. I felt in the rematch that there were moments where Usyk was definitely uncomfortable. He was feeling Joshua's physicality, but again, Joshua just couldn't do it consistently throughout 12 rounds, and he was getting outboxed when he wasn't doing it. And towards the end, of course, Alexander Usyk really kind of just took him to another level where Joshua wasn't really competing all that well last 3 rounds. But I felt Joshua did better. I think some people are being far too reactionary in regards to the loss, but it is what it is. Joshua's still got a future in the heavyweight division, no doubt about it. I'm Albanian, but you shouldn't underestimate a Mexican. Marku versus Kelly would be good. I'd like to see that fight. I think Marku needs a few more development fights. I still think he needs some work, needs a bit more experience, and also needs to remain active, and ideally improve his stamina. Yeah, 10-3. Yeah, good. That's a good bet. Yeah, done well there. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good, Jay, man. I'm pretty good. Yeah, there's been a lot of talks in regards to this fight. Has it been made? That could be smart matchmaking because maybe Dubois is in the right place at the right time, and they're catching Dillian White, at the right time. I'd like to see it. I think it's a good fight for both guys. So yeah, rumors. Yeah, oh yeah. There's been rumors. Yeah, it's not official though. I want Usyk to beat Fury so badly. Same. So do I. I'm sick of Tyson Fury. How did you score Akhmedov versus Puello? I've not seen it, bro. I've only seen the highlights. Sorry, I've not seen the fight. I heard some people say it was a robbery, but I've not seen it. I can't really comment. Thank you for Sit Down and Mafia History podcast. By the way, check out his channel. He's got some really interesting content, a really good podcast on Spotify as well. You're back at Barstool. That's sick, man. That's great news. That's huge, man. Barstool's a massive, massive site. And I know I need to get back to you, bro. We need to organize something, but it's just time for me, bro. It's time. But we need to organize something. Yeah, I'd watch it. BG London. But if I'm managing Joshua, I give him a couple of easier fights, and try to bed in with his new trainer, Robert Garcia. I would persist with that relationship. I would stay with Robert Garcia, have a couple of lower level fights, maybe an Otto Wallin, an Ajit Kabayel, a Zili Zhang, these sort of guys. Couple of fights in quick succession, one in December, one in March. Get a couple of wins under your belt, get a couple of training camps under your belt with Robert Garcia, and after that, go again. Maybe in the summer of next year, look for a Deontay Wilder fight or an Andy Ruiz trilogy or something like that. Again, people go far too over the top. It's like the same with Deontay Wilder. When he got beat by Fury, people were saying, "Oh, he should retire. He should retire." I mean, there's far too much money on the table still. And the reality is this. Wilder is 2 fights away from a world title? Let's say he beats Hellenius and Andy Ruiz beats Luis Ortiz, Wilder versus Ruiz. I'm sure that'll be a WBC eliminator, a final eliminator. So why should he retire? And the same goes for Anthony Joshua. I'm sure he's still going to be highly ranked, and a couple of wins later, he's right back in the mix. But oh, you got to retire. You got to retire. I mean, what is this, man? And these are the same people who will say, "Oh, why don't guys fight each other?" That's why, because when you take 1 or 2 losses, retire, retire. You're shit. Retire. Yeah, he needed more volume. I just don't think he's got it in him in terms of stamina. And again, people say, "Oh, Joshua needed to he needed to let go of a tank earlier on and really unload." Cool, but we saw what happened in round 9 when he tried that. Had a great round 9, threw a lot of punches. Look at round 10. It took it out of him. If he'd done that early and he couldn't get Usyk out of there, he could have got stopped. If he really went for Usyk early on and unloaded and just put the kitchen, threw the kitchen sink at him, if that didn't work, then in all likelihood he would have been stopped. So I understand why he did what he did. He got beat by the better boxer. It is what it is. He made some improvements, but it wasn't enough. I think people are going way too far with it, to be honest. And I'm not a Joshua fan, as you guys know. The only thing I didn't like was the post-fight reaction. That's the only thing I'm not really critical of Joshua's performance. I'm sure, yeah, he could have done a couple of things better, but for me personally, it was more so the reaction. Who do you think the best heavyweight prospect is? In my opinion, it's Frank Sanchez. I wouldn't call Frank Sanchez a prospect anymore, though. I would call him a contender at this point in time. Like, he's nearly 30. He's had 15, 16 fights. He's just beat F.A. Ajagba. I would call him a contender now. But again, I do agree. I think Frank Sanchez is a very awkward proposition for many heavyweights. And I said that a while ago when I did my prospect watch videos. I said that he wasn't going to be for everyone. Probably not going to be a dominant heavyweight, but he'll give guys trouble. But I like Jared Anderson. I do like Jared Anderson. Del, I don't think he did better at all. I seem like I'm on the opposite side to what everyone else thinks. He looked more stiff than ever. Yeah, I mean, listen, again, he wasn't perfect by any means. He still made mistakes. But again, I'm just going on when you watch that first fight, to me at least, I never got the feeling or I never got the sense that Usyk felt like he was the smaller man, and he never felt like he was fighting a bigger man. But in the rematch, I felt there was occasions where Joshua did actually make Usyk uncomfortable, unlike the first fight. Again, in terms of scoring, I don't think it was much different to the first fight. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. No, I only saw the highlights. The knockdown was bogus, Jay's Boxing Universe. The knockdown was terrible. And also there was a point deduction which looked a bit harsh as well. So the referee was definitely a homer. He was definitely a homer. I'm not sure focus on creativity with Joshua. I'm not sure. I mean, Derek James, he's not a heavyweight trainer. But having said that, neither is Robert Garcia. Neither's Robert Garcia. Do you know what? Again, I said this years ago, and I found a comment on one of Hatman's old videos, and it was after the Matt Skelton fight with Anthony Joshua. And I said back then, I don't know why I watched the video, but I found an old comment of mine. And I said back in 2013, Sugar Hill would be the perfect trainer for Anthony Joshua. There you go. Yeah, being active is the biggest must in the sport. I have been a boxer, and I know you have been as well. I personally like seeing somebody who I can relate to like that. Yeah, it's like when Golovkin was on the come up when he first went to America. He was fighting 4 times a year, and yes, he wasn't fighting the best guys all the time, but he was fighting who was available. He was staying active, and as a result, he stayed sharp, but also he stayed on the fans' minds as well. There's that as well. When you're scoring knockouts, you're looking good, you're fighting regularly, you're just going to build a fan base. That's what a lot of these guys kind of fail to see. Yeah, Joshua shouldn't have ranted immediately after the fight. Should have vented his frustrations in the post-fight press conference. Yeah, that would have been a smarter decision. Yeah, exactly. I would have made European in light heavyweight. I was training with people like Ismail Abdul and Franco Thunderbird Wanyama at 16. Damn, man. So you must have been decent. You must have been decent. I don't think he's staying with Robert Garcia. I don't think he is either, bro, but I'd like to see it. Thoughts on the good Haney has done for the sport to go to Australia twice and prove that you can make it and you don't need to hide like Tank Davis could have done. Yeah. I mean, listen, man, I think if I'm Devin Haney, I'm more than willing to go to Australia again because he's going to school Kambosos once again. I said it going into the first fight. I couldn't see what people were seeing there. I felt stylistically Devin Haney was all wrong for George Kambosos. Kambosos primarily is a mid-range counterpuncher. He's somewhat aggressive, but he's not an all-out pressure fighter. He's a mid-range counterpuncher who likes to exchange. He's pretty tricky with his lead hands, but if you take the play away from him, he's going to struggle. And that's Devin Haney's game. The 1-2, lovely jab, keeping it at range, good height and reach, good speed, good foot movement. I always felt going into that first fight, this is going to be a bit of a wash stylistically. And that's exactly what happened. And I'm expecting the same thing in the rematch. George Kambosos really needs to change it up. He needs to be a pressure fighter. He should be adjusting his style going into this rematch. Because if he tries to counter Devin Haney, he's going to get picked off again. I think Haney's going to school him once again. Yeah, exactly, yeah. Kambosos knows what's up, Andre. He knows what's up. He knows what's up. Oh, that sucks, man. Yeah, I feel you, man. I had to stop boxing because basically, well, my circumstances changed, to be honest. That was really it for me. But, life gets in the way sometimes. What's up, Lamb Chop? How you doing? Nice to see you here, bro. Nice to see you here. Hopefully you're keeping well on this fine Friday evening here in the UK. It's actually not too bad. It's been a decent day weather-wise, which is decent, living in the UK, which is decent. Right, I've fucking got so many tabs open, guys. One thing I know about boxing is that you can be a puncher if you don't have the stamina. You won't be world class. If you have the speed and if you have speed and have almost unlimited stamina, yeah, I know what you're trying to say. I'd rather have stamina than like crazy punching power. If I could pick one attribute, I think stamina is more important. I think Josh Kelly wins, to be honest with you. I think Josh Kelly is he's a bit too experienced. Longer amateur pedigree. He's a bigger dude as well. I think Josh Kelly beats Marku. If it's at 154, at 147, who knows? I don't think Josh can make 147 anymore. I don't really know who he's fighting, bro. I know he's fighting a journeyman, but I don't know who he's fighting. I mean, good luck to him. He's going to get fucking paid. Good luck to him, man. See, he's going to get paid well. Sorry. Oh, fuck's sake, I've got pop-up. Hang on. Fuck's sake, 1 second. Speaking of the hundreds of videos I saw, you said in one you would visit other topics minus the morbid curiosity you'll have for live murder videos. I mean, life like in the UK, that would interest Americans. Maybe, yeah. I mean, I've had so many ideas like on YouTube and shit, but it's getting round to it, and it's finding a channel to do it on because I can't really do it on this channel. I would need to make a third channel. You never know, man. You never know. Yeah, Jalalov might be the best prospect. I would say Jalalov, Anderson, They're pretty much the standouts right now. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Marianne G. Like if Haney can beat Kambosos, which he will do, by the way, Haney versus Lomachenko is a big fight. It's a big fight. Yeah, that's the thing. Mart, that's the thing. Yeah, Sanchez is 30 on paper. God knows how old he really is. Yeah, I mean, he looks about 52, bro. He looks old as fuck. He looks like he was around in the Fidel Castro days, you know? Been around a long time by the looks of him. He's certainly not 30. But he can move well, man. He can move well. He can move well. He's got good legs, decent speed, you know? He can move well. What's up? What's up, Bruce, man? How you doing? And by the way, check out Bruce Gas Boxing, Jazz, and more. Does hangouts, he talks boxing, gets fucking blazed as well. Top guy, man. Big up to Bruce. Hunter versus Huey prediction. Might need some hard liquor to watch that. Yeah, it's a weird fight, right? Because on paper, it's a competitive matchup. Could go either way. So that's what we want to see. But getting those two guys in the ring, I think it's going to be a dull fight. To me, again, it's like if it's for Michael Hunter from the Jerry Forrest fight, Huey Fury probably wins. But if it's Michael Hunter from the Bacole fight, I'm taking Michael Hunter. So I'm going to say this right now. I'm going to base it. I'm going to base my prediction on the best that I've seen from both guys. So that means I'm picking Michael Hunter on points. I'm going Michael Hunter on points. Good fight, though. Decent fight. Decent fight. Yes, big up to Tony Boswell. Salute, man. Salute. Yeah, hopefully work goes well, Tony, man. Hopefully work goes well. Do I have a... No, I don't have a pound-for-pound list. I don't. I've never had a pound-for-pound list since I've, made the channel. Yeah, Makhmudov is decent. Speaking of Makhmudov, he's fighting Carlos Takam in Canada soon. So that's a good little test for him. Yeah, Anderson is definitely one, Bruce. Anderson, I would say Jared Anderson and the Olympic gold medalist, Bakodir Jalalov, they're the two standouts. Richard Torres, it's too early to say with him, but because of his background, being Hispanic, if that kid can fight, he's going to get a big fan base. I'll keep on saying that. He was the first Olympic super heavyweight medalist in the USA, I believe, since Riddick Bowe, which is pretty crazy when you think about it. It's pretty crazy. So yeah, I mean, he's got the pedigree. I think he's got the background. If he can fight, he's going to be a star. He's going to be a star. Yeah, I like boxing in the weekdays, Leonardo. I like it. I'd be all for it. What's up, Lack74? You must be happy right now. Tottenham are doing well. You guys are looking pretty decent. I had to stop boxing because getting punched in the grid when you're not pissed hurts. Yeah, facts. Yeah, I think cruiserweight is still interesting. I do. I want to see Egorov though. He was supposed to fight Gulamarian, but I'm not sure what's happening with that. I think so. Yeah, I think so. BG London. I think so. But again, if you're PBC, I mean, he's in a bit of a hard spot because you're not going to let him fight Wilder or Andy Ruiz, your two biggest money makers, because Frank Sanchez's style is so hard to contend with. I mean, it's a risky fight for those guys. So I'm not sure really what they're going to do with him. I think maybe he might be one of those fighters to where they might be willing to let him fight on another platform if an offer comes in. Yeah, Marciano was more of a mauler, not necessarily like a classical combination puncher. 1 second. I'm asking the same fucking question. Jesus Christ. Not you guys, by the way. I'm not talking about you guys. As a boxing fan and an ex-amateur, I honestly respect KSI and the other influencers have their own lane and belts, not aiming for actual boxers like Jake is doing. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Nah, probably not, bro. Probably not. I'll catch up on the top rank card on Sunday. But yeah, I'm not going to watch it. Yeah, Frank Sanchez, yeah, he left Eddie Reynoso. Well, I wasn't surprised by that anyway because stylistically I never saw how they meshed together. What's up, West Cork? What's up? Yeah, Sanchez is with Goosen now. Same with Ryan Garcia, yeah. Just putting it out there that Maurizio Lara is beatable. He is facing a fighter with actual pop, unlike Josh Warrington. Plus, we haven't seen Branko's chin checked, and what we have seen is not granite. Wood can win. I agree with that, Hazzy. I agree with that definitely. The way I see it, I'm leaning towards the pressure of Lara. I think he'll break down Lee Wood before Lee Wood gets to him, but Lee Wood is a good counterpuncher. He can throw straight shots. And as we know, Lara comes in very square and he takes a lot of risks. So he could always walk into a big shot. That is definitely possible. Lee Wood has a puncher's chance. But the volume, the aggression, and the relentlessness of Lara, I think it might get to him. I think it might get to him. But it's a very good fight. You got to respect, listen, bro, Lee Wood is one of the toughest guys with a perm I've seen. You got to respect him, bro. He's taking hard fights. He's not looking for easy fights, man. Got to respect Lee Wood. No, I'm kind of the opposite. Again, listen, he could have done things better, but I felt he was better than the first fight. Put it that way. I felt he made some improvements. Again, I was saying earlier, like people are saying, oh, he should have been more aggressive. He should have let go of his shots more. Cool, but we saw what happened when he did that in round 9. He gassed out in round 10. Let's say he did that early in the fight for like the first 2 or 3 rounds, and he really unloads, throws the kitchen sink at Usyk, and he doesn't get rid of him. He would probably get stopped. So I understand why he did what he did. But he's not as good. To me, it's that simple. He's just not as good. Yeah, Lomachenko's coming back in October by the looks of it against Jermaine Ortiz. Jermaine Ortiz is all right, not great, but not bad. He's all right. Lomachenko should win that quite comfortably. What's up, White and Dean? How you doing? Yeah, Hergovich needed to look bad and win. Well, he's certainly done that, but I don't think he won, to be honest. But there you go. He can't get a fight with a top fighter to save his life. Yeah, he might do now. I mean, yeah, it definitely does, bro. But like, because of the content that I cover, I wouldn't rely on it because YouTube can change their terms and conditions anytime. They can take away monetization. I personally, no, I wouldn't go full-time YouTube. I'll keep my job, keeps me grounded, But yeah, I mean, I make a bit of money on it. Yeah, smash the like. Listen, I'm sure he does. I'm sure he's got a lot of pressure on him, but that's not an excuse. Got to conduct. That was bad. That was bad form, in my opinion. Pick up Alex, man. Yeah, you guys are doing well, man. You guys are doing well. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's in the Who Needs Him club. Exactly. That's the best way I can describe it, BG London. I find his style unique. I find him interesting. He's got that kind of scowl on his face. He looks fucking miserable. I like something intriguing about Frank Sanchez. I don't mind him. I like him more than most. Put it that way. I know the Hammer fight was shit. That was terrible, but I actually enjoyed his performance against Ajagba. I felt he boxed well in that fight. I felt he boxed well. And he's definitely a problem. There's a lot of people picking Ajagba to beat him as well. I remember that. Because yours truly picked Frank Sanchez on points. I'm pretty sure I did anyway. I've got to brag about the ones I do get right. And speaking of fights that are like being announced, Gilberto Ramirez versus Bivol, that's been announced. That's a decent fight. I believe that fight's going to go down in Dubai. Yeah, I felt Badu Jack lost Crazy D3. I felt he got a gift on that card. And I like Badu Jack, but yeah, I think the writing's on the wall for him. Had a good career, but he's going to get squashed at cruiserweight. He's not big enough. And he looked really, really slow in that fight. Really slow, really cumbersome against Richard Riviera. And that Riviera guy ain't fucking great, I'll tell you that now. Oh shit, yeah, Gassiev's back in the ring tonight, believe it or not. Gassiev is back in the ring tonight. Can you believe it? He's fighting a guy called Carlos Welch or something like that. Somebody I've never heard of. Yo, Del, somebody told me that you brought tickets to the Clarissa Shields fight, shaking my head. Well, at least they're front row. She might blow you a kiss. That would never happen, bro. I would never buy tickets to that fight. Yeah, I heard that actually. Yeah, I mean, I felt he spoke okay in regards to that fight. Lee Wood's getting flattened, yeah. Hopefully, Lara hasn't got 4 weeks' notice for this, but English fighters in the majority aren't trained to fight at a high pace. Mexicans are, yeah. It's not. I'm not sure what Lara's like outside the ring in terms of like weight. Is he one of those guys who enjoys one too many tacos, and he puts on weight? So cutting the weight in 4 weeks could be an issue, but I'm not sure what type of guy he is. Is he one of those guys who stays dedicated outside the ring? Because that's where like he could come unstuck here. Yeah, that Navarrete fight actually against Eduardo Baez was good this previous weekend. I think so, yeah. I think he is. Yeah, October, BG London, October. But I'm going to go with Michael Hunter. Yeah, there was a lot of shit scorecards on that whole card. Yeah, the Badu Jack fight was a robbery. I felt the Zili Zhang fight. I felt Zili Zhang got jobbed. Obviously, the Joshua card in the Usyk fight. Yeah, there were some shit cards. I disagree. I felt he did better in the second fight, personally. Yeah, do you know what? That's the best I saw him. He was still slow at times. He was still cumbersome, but he actually was managing to push Hergovich back on several occasions. He buzzed Hergovich more than once. Yeah, he fought a good fight. That might be a good fight for Derek Chisora. Zili Zhang versus Chisora. That'd be a fun fight. Yeah, I'll be glad to see the back of Tyson Fury, regardless of what happens. I just don't like the fucking. Listen, I understand trolling and shit like that. That's cool, but like he overdoes it. He overdoes it. I don't mind. I like a bit of trolling. But Fury, man. Hang on, let me type something out. Fuck. No. I want Wilder. If Wilder beats Helenius and if Ruiz beats Ortiz, I want Wilder versus Ruiz. That's what I'd like to see personally for Deontay Wilder. Yeah, maybe. You might be right there. Maybe he was too focused on the body. I said that in the post-fight review, that the variety wasn't there with his offense. Oh yeah. That on this channel when we live stream, it's not as serious. But you should follow me on Twitch as well. I started a Twitch channel, Koku. I've started a Twitch channel for Disturbed Reality, and on that we basically just bullshit and play some games. I don't stream much. I'm trying to stream once a week on Twitch. I might actually go live after this. So if anybody has a Twitch account and you want to follow, it's there in the chat. Derek's on MK Ultra, split personality for sure. Very good fight. Very good fight. Jojo Diaz versus William Zepeda. Now, I rate William Zepeda. Sorry, if I can speak. I in my prospects to watch for 2022 video, I mentioned him. Now, his last fight, he wasn't as impressive, and this is a big step up. Jojo is very experienced. He's durable. He's got a great guard. You know, he's been around, so it's a big test. Zepeda's got the size, he's got the power, but he's not got that kind of experience or boxing that Jojo has. That's a very good fight. That's a very good fight. I'm not really sure which way I'm going yet. If it is true, Randy Orton, Badu Jack's getting fucked. I'd like to see the weigh-in. I'll watch the weigh-in, Crazy D3. No problems. But that is where my interest will dwindle after that. And I'll watch the weigh-in for Alicia, you know? Michaela's all right to look at, but she's got that sour face, you know. I don't know. Not a big fan of her. I mean, I would, but like, you know, I wouldn't exactly. I don't know. It's just not she's not my type of girl. No, I've only seen the highlights, Hazzy. And yeah, as I was saying, like the knockdown was bogus. The point deduction looked harsh. The referee looked like he was on the take, to be honest. Yeah, his right hook out of a southpaw stance was really good, man. And that quick, sneaky, like straight left hand as well. He was timing Hergovich really effectively. You know, he was good in that fight, man, especially early on. I agree. Yeah, I agree. Seconds out. 2014-15 Tyson Fury would take the piss out of this version of Tyson Fury. I totally agree. I think that version of Tyson Fury was a special generational talent. And I'm not a big Tyson Fury fan. I liked him back then. But you know, as the years have gone on, I've lost a lot of respect for the guy. But back then, I think the talent levels that he displayed, like he was a generational talent. I don't think he's the same fighter now. Hence why he's changed that style. He doesn't have those legs anymore. And this new style is still effective. He's still a very good heavyweight. And to be honest, I favour him to beat Usyk. I would pick him to beat Usyk. But I think he'll have a hard night's work. I really do. And it wouldn't shock me if Usyk pulls it off. It wouldn't shock me. He's certainly a live dog. Certainly a live dog. Oh yeah, yeah. Wilder needs to calm down with that shit. He's the last one to talk. You know. Nah, not a face cam. Not a face cam. Nah, 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 nah. I might do at some point. Makes my wanks easier. What's up, John Gonzalez, man? My favorite Texan. My favorite Texan, John Gonzalez. How you doing, man? Andy Ruiz, Ortiz, Parker Joyce, Fury Hunter, Dubois White, Fury Usyk. Looking tasty, to be fair. Yeah, it's looking good, bro. It's looking good. It's looking good at the heavyweight division. Oh yeah, I was so happy that Leon Edwards knocked out Kamaru Usman. Yeah, that was great, man. That fucking head kick, nasty, nasty. That's a good fight. It's a good fight. Barboza is very versatile. He can box and move. He can fight a bit on the inside. He's got good volume. He's not a big puncher, but he's a pretty well-rounded fighter, and he's far better than Pedro Campa. He'll give Teofimo Lopez a lot of trouble. Whether he wins or not, I don't know, but he's a live dog there. That's one of those fights to where I would really pay attention to the odds. If Barbosa is at good at good value, I will bet on him because I think he's a live dog. BBW Slayer's ready for a big Saturday night. I've got nothing planned, bro. I've got nothing planned. Yeah, I think a lot of people want to see Fury humbled, man. And I'd love Usyk to be the guy to do it. Because to me, Usyk is I don't know. To me, he's just a fighter. You know, he does everything right. Does what we want from as a fan. Give me 5 names UK based that will be carrying the next era of boxing after AJ, Fury, White all retire. Ben Whittaker has star potential in regards to his attitude, his swagger. But again, is he going to get to that level? We shall see. But if he's any good, he will be a big star. Conor Benn, regardless whether I like it or not, he does have star potential, but I don't think he's going to get to that level. Honestly, I think after those guys retire, I think it's going to be a bit of a darker age for British boxing. We'll still have some world champions here and there, but in regards to like big pay-per-view nights, I think that could calm down. I really do. I really do. Is it time to throw in the towel on Spence versus Crawford and Andrade's career? I think we'll still see Spence versus Crawford. I do. As for Andrade, again, I'm not really interested. Apparently, he's going to fight Zach Parker at 168. That could be interesting. I'll watch it. I reckon Ruiz would smoke for Big Dosser. Do you mean Wilder? I mean, he could if he gets up close. Yeah, I mean, Luke Rockhold basically after like 2 minutes was gassed to fuck. And he was swinging big shots, you know, getting tuned up. But it was fun. It was fun. I felt if it looked like I know what you're trying to say. It looked like Costa should have finished him, really. Usyk's gonna bust up Fury, book it. Listen, bro, Mad Chad, if you're right, I will listen, I'll send you $50 on Patreon. On PayPal. On PayPal. I'll send you some cash money. Sorry, did you? Yeah, I saw that on Twitter. Yeah, I saw that on Twitter. And yeah, I felt he made some good points. He made some good points. No, I don't know. I mean, he's a strong kid. He's got some power, but he's got a lot of learning to do. He's one of those guys to where they should really take their time. Don't even think about big domestic fights and shit like that. Just have like regular fights against journeyman, durable guys. See where he can go. But yeah, they can't rush him. I mean, listen, Callum Smith is a big lump. He's got good power, good timing. So he's always going to be a live dog. But I the way Callum sometimes he invites guys onto him where they can kind of tee off. I mean, you saw the French dude do that, but he had no power. If that's Beterbiev, like letting go of those shots, I mean, it does make me worry for Callum, but I think Callum definitely has a puncher's chance. Yeah, something Fletcher. I think it's something Fletcher. Is it Tommy Fletcher? But I know who you're talking about. I mean, I would watch it. I would watch it. I'm not going to lie. Have a hybrid, like, crossover fight, like MMA gloves, but boxing. I'd watch it. I'd say 3 or 4 rounds. I think Butler's going to get wrecked. Butler's going to get wrecked. But at least Inoue gets that undisputed, you know? Tidying up the division. Yeah, but yeah, I know. Yeah, I felt like Costa should have really got rid of him. But there you go. What do I know? What the fuck do I know? Can you imagine if Shaquille took up boxing, bro? That'd be crazy. Yeah, he did. Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, and also Tyson Fury. He acknowledges that like Steve Cunningham gave him his hardest fight in his career. I don't rate him. I don't rate him at all. I think he's awful. I really do. Like people get on Conor Ben's back, and so do I. But at least Conor Ben has like he does have athleticism. He has power. But Campbell Hatton is just terrible. Like he's dreadful. He's not going anywhere. Yeah, I like the fight. I like the fight. I think Hellenius is a respectable comeback opponent. Hellenius isn't exactly world class, like top 10 level, but he's a solid heavyweight with power, good amateur pedigree. He can box when he wants to. But he has his own flaws. His chin isn't great. His stamina's not great. Not the quickest guy in the world. But yeah, I mean, I think I think he brings some sort of danger to the equation for Deontay Wilder. And what are my thoughts on NoFap? I will fail it, bro. I've not really read into it, to be honest. I don't really believe in it, quite frankly. But what do I know? Ade said he heard that Spence Crawford is happening in December. I hope so. That'd be a great Christmas present. That'd be a great Christmas present. Campbell can of tomato soup pattern. Yeah, he's tomato soup. He's not even chicken soup. He's not even oxtail soup. He is tomato soup. The blandest fucking soup. That's what he is. Because I quite like a bit of oxtail soup. I'm not gonna lie. And when I'm ill, I love chicken soup. You know, when you're ill, when you're under the weather, nice bit of chicken soup, beautiful, 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 beautiful. Did you hear about IFL trying to start up their own streaming platform to launch next year, where they'd probably be showing the likes of MTK and Probellum? Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. But yeah, it would be Probellum, yeah. I'll research it. I'll research it. I'll go down a rabbit hole. He could be, man. Listen, I hope he is. I hope he is. I hope he is. So Endgame, I wasn't scoring it round by round, but like to me at least, it looked like Zhang won. If anybody won that fight, it was Zhang, in my opinion. But I enjoyed the Usman-Edwards fight, and I shouted when the kick landed afterwards. People said it was boring. Yeah, I mean, that was a great knockout, man. It's a great knockout. As much as I dislike Fury, I really wish that the McDermott fight was scored correctly. Should have one big, dirty one in the red. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, man. Lara, once again, coming to the UK, that usually spells fucking disaster for UK fighters when a Mexican comes over. They usually fuck our guys up. Bum, 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 bum. Okay. Yeah, the Matchroom guys have been a bit, crazy this week. What's up, Colin? How you doing? Yeah, who the fuck likes tomato soup? Facts. Colin had Zhang. No broadband in the new gaff is killing me. All sorted now. That's great, man. Now, hopefully you enjoy the new place, then. NoFap isn't the same as no punani. It's to get rid of your porn addiction, improve discipline, and get increased energy. Well, that could actually have some merit then. Because I don't really watch porn these days, to be honest with you. I jack off, don't get me wrong. I use my imagination, bro. Yeah, that's quite late considering it's not late, but like considering how like slick he is and how well he moves and how natural he is. It's quite surprising. I don't know, man. I don't know. I felt that Makhmudov looked a bit dodgy against Marius Vac. He was getting tagged up in that fight. Carlos Takam is always going to come and give it a go, and if he does, he'll tag up Makhmudov. But it's whether he can take that power at this age. I don't know. I think he might give Makhmudov a few hard rounds and then basically get stopped in like rounds 4 or 5. Maybe similar to the Joe Joyce type, the Joe Joyce fight. Maybe similar. That's a good win. That is because I couldn't see that fight going the distance. Maybe David, maybe. But the thing is with Fury, one thing about him that we do know, he knows how to like utilize that big man strength and that size, even against a guy like Wilder, who's a big guy himself. Certainly in terms of height and reach. Yeah, there were so many good memes, man. It's crazy, man, because that was going to be another win for Usman, and he would have tied, I believe, Anderson Silva's win streak. And in the last minute of the fight, man, he got caught. That's MMA for you. That's MMA for you. Exactly, Colin. Yeah. Especially, he's got that low lead, man. That low lead left. And against the overhand right of Takam, could be trouble. Could be trouble. Yeah, I'd like to see Ireland. I've never been to Ireland. Never been to Ireland. To be fair, I've never been to Scotland either. I've been to Wales. Wales is nice, but I've never been to Ireland. I think in terms of pure power, it's Makhmudov, to be honest with you. But I think Hellenius is more sneaky. I think Hellenius disguises his shots better. Makhmudov more so loads up and really winds up, Whereas Hellenius can disguise that shot behind his jab. He can be sneaky with it. He can lead with it. Yeah, it was crazy, bro. His behavior was, and his body language was just so strange. It was bizarre. Maybe he was more hurt than we realised. Maybe it was that. Because the knockdown was bogus. That wasn't a knockdown. He got kind of cuffed on the back of the head and dragged down. But he gets up and he got caught directly after that, I believe, with a straight left hand. And I think he just maybe felt the power. Maybe he was intimidated. I don't know what the deal was, but he was dreadful. Yeah, he definitely finished the fight stronger, Hergovich. He did. He did. And to be honest, yeah, like if it wasn't for the bogus knockdown, I think you could have argued that he won the fight. But scoring it how the referee had it, or how it played out, and etc. I felt fucking Zhang should have probably got it. Probably a draw would be the fairest result, to be honest. Hatton is the cheap veg soup in Aldi, yeah, facts. Yeah, and that was a nasty knockout to the body as well. That's that kind of shovel hook to the body, right in the solar plexus. Nasty shot, man. And he was struggling in that fight. Baez was giving him some hard rounds. Navarrete is good fun, though. He's good fun. He just needs now a big fight, Navarrete. He's had all of these sort of title defenses against lower level guys. Needs a big fight now. Yeah, that does. Yeah, I mean, Edwards out of nowhere, man. But one thing about Edwards, from what I was kind of researching, was that he was always quite well rounded. So he always had that sort of thing in his locker. Is that fight happening? Ray Vargas versus Leo Santa Cruz. I think he might do at this stage, but one thing about Leo is his output is still very good. But he's actually, for once, Leo's not the taller, longer man. I think Ray Vargas is taller. I'm certain he is. I don't know. I think he might get outboxed. It's a decent fight, though. Yeah, it's madness. Yeah, it's madness. Even in Saudi Arabia, in neutral territory, he does the job. It's crazy. When you get to a fork in the road, take it, Yogi Berra. I don't think he's in any shape to fight, Ian. I don't think he's in any shape to fight. I think those days are long gone. Usyk is going to be improbable to defeat, throwing 700 punches a fight. No heavyweight can match that output. It will take a lucky Rahman Lewis punch to beat him. Maybe. Yeah, I certainly think like mentally and like in terms of like hunger and desire, I think that was peak Joshua. Yeah, I agree. Technically, like you say, I think he's better in certain aspects now, but yeah, he certainly doesn't have that same sort of fire. It appears that way at least. Maybe that's more confidence than actually not having it. But I don't know, man, with Joshua right now. I think he needs a couple of easier fights. Lower level fights. Not complete bums, like I said, but like just lower level guys. Like an Otto Arlene, an Ajit Kabayel. Guys who are respectable but not like world beaters. A couple of those fights, one of those guys in December, then another one of those type of guys in March. Quick fire fights, activity at the O2 Arena. Just, have a couple of quick fights. And go from there, basically. Uranium, like, fuck knows. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, he's the dude who beat the Nigerian guy, Astafa Apochi, whatever his name is. Yeah. He's a hard puncher, Fat Apples. He's a hard puncher. That fight with Apochi was a great fight. If you've not seen that fight, crazy cruiserweight fight. Crazy cruiserweight fight. Hang on. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, feed him some like lower level top 15 guys. That's what I would say. Yeah, and then make a fight against the likes of a White or Wilder. Yeah, and honestly, I think Joshua smokes White. I think White is done. People saying Joshua's done. I think it's more confidence with Joshua. I think physically Joshua's fine. I think Dillian White's chin is truly deteriorating before our eyes. I really do. I think Dillian White's chin is gone. So that'd be an easy fight for Joshua. And it'll be a big fight still. That might be smart. What's up, Lee, man? And by the way, check out Lee's channel. Yeah, I agree. City Dweller, yeah. Fury knows how to use that height and reach and weight more than Joshua, yeah. Yeah, Eddie is losing it right now. I wonder what DAZN are thinking now with Joshua. Like, it's interesting. They signed that big deal. But he's still going to be a draw vote, so it is what it is. Yeah, the card in Leeds, I think he's in Nottingham, innit? I think he's in Nottingham. But yeah, it's a good card. Maxi Hughes versus Galahad, Lara versus Wood. Good fight. It's a weird fight. I think Galahad's a better boxer, but like Galahad is at lightweight to take that fight. So he's going up 2 weight classes. I'm not really sure on that one, but it's a decent fight. Yeah, if he beats Fury, man, his resume is ridiculous. It's ridiculous already when you look at it. But if he were to beat Tyson Fury, yeah, Zepeda, William Zepeda, yeah. William Zepeda, his like how he looks reminds me of Quadras a little bit. He looks kind of similar. Exactly. I don't think he's got. I think it's because he doesn't have faith in his chin and his gas tank, Jordan. I think he's in his own head too much. I think he's in his own head too much. That's another place I've never been, Plymouth. Yeah, exactly. I think that'll be it, City Dweller. I agree. Hearn will be hoping that Fury beats Usyk so he can push for Fury AJ, yeah. Because if AJ has a couple of wins, 2 or 3 wins, and Fury beats Usyk, that fight will still be huge. Yeah, that's another comparison I can see, yeah. And he looks a bit like Lewandowski, this dude. I swear to God, his face. Let's have a look. William Zepeda. He looks a little bit like Lewandowski. That's his head shape kind of thing. To me, he does anyway. He looks a little bit like Lewandowski. Maybe you guys can't see it. No, he's definitely more Ander Herrera. Yeah, I think Fury pisses all over AJ, to be honest with you, Lee. But again, it's business. It'll make sense. It'll do a lot of buys. But yeah, that William Zepeda versus Jojo Diaz fight's really good, man. It's a really good fight. I prefer Zepeda to win because it's someone different. But it's a really good fight. That fight goes down on the 5th of November. We've actually got some good fights coming up. You know, like Ramirez versus Bivol as well is a good fight. That's a really solid fight. That Lara Wood fight, I'm telling you, is going to be a fucking barn burner. It's going to be a great fight. I agree. Yeah, Maxi has done well. He's in the same camp as Warrington, I believe. Yeah, they've done a really good job with him. Really good job with him. He can box a bit himself, actually, Maxi Hughes. He's got some skill. I agree, though, Mad Chad. I agree. Hellenius is a good comeback. It's a respectable comeback, I would say, coming off 2 knockout losses. Yeah, I mean, that's why I think the timing could be right for Dubois. I'm not going to sit here and pick Dubois because I'm still not sold on Dubois in many ways, in many aspects of his game. But like, if he connects on Dillian White, full-fledged, like a full shot, a shot in anger on Dillian's chin, does Dillian stand up to it? From what we've seen of him, probably not. Yeah, Arsenal are top of the league, bro. You enjoy it, City Dweller. Enjoy it. I don't think it's going to last long, but I will say I do think you guys have made significant improvements with your business. I think you've made some great business. Obviously, Gabby Jesus is a great signing, but I think Zinchenko is a really, really clever signing as well. Very versatile player, can play left back, centre mid, DM. Excellent signing. Excellent signing. Where we at? Yeah, Lara Wood. Yeah, Lara versus Wood. That is going to be a fucking barn burner. Again, I've got to say, man, Lee Wood, the hardest guy with a fucking perm. That guy's taking hard fights, and that's all we want as boxing fans. Whether he loses or wins, regardless, I want to see him again. I've got Lara, personally. I think Lara's pressure is going to be a bit too much. But regardless, I want to see that guy fight. I want to see his career unfold. I like it when guys just say, fuck it, give me a hard fight. And he could have easily fucked around and maneuvered himself into a Josh Warrington fight. They could have worked that out to where they vacated titles, whatever, and done some bullshit. But no, he's fighting a dangerous guy in Lara who's not got a big fan base. That's a dangerous fight. It's a dangerous fight, man. It's a good fight, though. And again, that's what makes a great champion. If he wins that fight, then damn, that's a hell of a year. That's what you want. None of this pussying around and fighting Joe Blogs down the street or some Lithuanian plumber. No, nobody wants to see that shit. So credit to Lee Wood. Nobody's tested Dubois' chin or taken him into deep waters outside of Joyce. That's one thing, though, with Dillian. Like, if he gets on Dubois' chest and really kind of works that body and throws a few combos, how's Dubois going to react? See, I'm not sold on Dubois' chin either. But I know that Dillian's chin is getting worse. And I think, his punch resistance is gone. He'll soon be back to Arsenal. Yeah, there's that as well, lol. That could happen. Keep a lookout for it. Who would you pick at this stage? Joshua or Wilder? It's basically a 50-50 fight. But gun to my head, I think I pick Wilder. I think Wilder, regardless of what you say about him, I think he showed in those Fury fights that he does have that never say die attitude. He will go out on his shield and he'll fucking swing doing it. And when you have that mindset, he might be more willing to pull the trigger and take more risks. And that might be enough against Joshua at this stage. considering where Joshua's at. So I might say Wilder. Yeah, I saw the highlights, Lee, and yeah, I didn't like what I saw either. And I would agree as well. I'd take Josh Kelly. The only thing about that fight is if it's at 147, Josh Kelly might struggle, but at 154, yeah, Josh Kelly wins. Yeah, he looks very good. I think he's the best striker you've had in a long, long time. Yeah, I mean, they're claims from like the 1970s, man. I mean, it is what it is, man. I mean, I'm very doubtful of a lot of these accusations. So, yeah, Wood backed himself against Conlon. Ballsy son of a bitch. I shifted to a Wood win when I heard Conlon was having a savage weight cut in the boxing gyms here. Yeah, man, and you could tell, man, at the end of that fight, his gas tank went, Conlon. Like, Wood basically just put it on him, made it rough, made it tough, and Conlon started to fade. But he was well up in that fight. Honestly, probably Blair Cobbs at this stage. Probably outworks Broner. I think he does, yeah. I think Sean O'Hagan still trains him. I think if we get undisputed, Usyk will come in better prepared. His camp was filled with big men. None will replicate Fury. Both are nightmares to prepare for. But how the hell do you prepare for Usyk? Exactly. They're both gonna struggle when it comes to sparring partners. Let's be real. Wilder beats Joshua, I think, but it's a sound fight. Wilder was very good in that third fight. Yeah, he was good. He done all he could, with what he had. Yeah, I think. I think a boxing prospect should be defined by having no more than 12 fights and be under the age of 27, perhaps. Yeah, it's hard to judge what's a prospect and what isn't. And like 27 in the lightweight division is a lot different to 27 in the heavyweight division. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's a hard one. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're right. When it comes to AJ, important to note that he's always struggled against shorter fighters who are sound boxers. Savon gave him fits in the amateurs. Povetkin bothered him early doors, and Usyk, yeah, exactly. And also that was it Romanian dude, Mihai Nistor in the amateurs as well, beat Joshua, who's a smaller heavyweight. He basically is BG. Because I think, again, I think his chin is gone, bro. I think his chin is gone. Speaking of Wilder, if I'm Wilder, I'm looking at Dillian White right now because that could be a fucking highlight reel fucking knockout. That could be a highlight reel knockout. Like some fucking madness knockout. Exactly, yeah. I mean, he's got all of the support around him, Adolf Stalin. He's got all of the support around him, and shit's going to get put on a plate for him. This is no longer a pro Florian Marku channel anymore. Apologies, fellas. Yeah, man, you got to call it how it is, man. He looked bad from what I saw. He looked bad. It's not to say I don't like him, because I do like him. I think he's fun to watch, but he looked bad. There was that as well. Yeah, Fury wasn't in shape. I think one guy was more motivated than he was before, and the other wasn't as motivated as he was before. How long do I think Lomachenko has left? Do you think Haney, if he doesn't bottle it, could have timed it well? No sign of Loma slowing down, to be fair, but losing that edge can seemingly happen overnight. Yeah, I mean, it could be that case where Haney times it right, but it's hard to say really because, like you say, I felt he looked really good. He looked really good in the fight with Comey. So I don't think he's there yet. But what is he? 33 years old now. He's lightweight, so he's around that. It's around that age now where the wheels are going to start falling off a little bit. A few nuts and bolts are going to fall off. So maybe Haney's timed it perfectly. The only thing with Haney from his side of things is making weight. Because he's a big kid. He's a big kid. Yeah, Haaland is going to be clear for top scorer, unless he gets injured. If he fights Wilder, I think it'll be in the summer. If he does fight Wilder. Yeah, Fury does take a lot of risks. Yeah, this version of Fury does, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked with Tyson Fury, Ian. Nothing would shock me with Tyson. So, I'm just going to sit back and hopefully it happens. Yeah, right now I do, but again, in 8-9 months' time, you never know. Like fighters can fall off quickly. It will never happen, Chris. Man, I think Munguia Munguia's kind of playing it safe right now. But having said that, there's a lot of rumors that Munguia is going to be fighting John Ryder, which would be a tremendous fight. That could be a fight of the year contender. So I'll be satisfied with Munguia versus Ryder. Because Ryder's a guy who, when he's fighting a pressure fighter, man, he's in his element. Because Ryder's a really good inside fighter, really, really crafty on the inside, especially with that right hook out of that southpaw stance. He might be the harder puncher there, John Ryder, but Munguia's got more activity though. He throws more punches. Yeah, you'll see Dave Allen versus Alan Babich, Ian Ward. Yeah, I mean, bro, I can't even make videos about Andrade anymore. I just got no interest. I think he's fighting Zach Parker next. That could be interesting, to be fair. It's hard to say, though, how good is Zach Parker? Zach Parker's beat nobody, really, but he's beat who he's had to. Yeah, exactly, Lee. Yeah, Usyk is the only fight. Yeah, Ryder's got a rare skill set for a British fighter. He can actually fight on the inside. Yeah, exactly. If he beats Babich, it'll be late on, and it'll be a one shot kill type of deal. That's what it will be, where Babich basically unloads on him, and gets caught late on and gets knocked out. That's the only way I see Dave Allen winning. Because otherwise, other than that, he'll get outworked. He'll just get outworked. Yeah, I mean, Alan Canuli, yeah, I think he'll have a good run as well. Yeah, one day, I think there'll be more information surrounding the whole PBC palaver. But they seem like a bit of a, honestly, they seem like they're a bit of a sinking ship right now, PBC. They're not as regular with their cards anymore. That's what it feels like anyway. There's very few cards on Fox now. That relationship seems to be dying a death. So, if they fuck up the Showtime deal, then who knows? I reckon I've got a chance. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, there's that. That's a good point, actually. Andrade's an idiot for taking Parker over Janabek, fighting a bigger man with legit power in the UK, as opposed to fighting a smaller guy in the US where he could get a gift. Yeah, he's got more. He certainly got more protection if he fought Janabek. It's a good point. Maybe there's more money in the Zach Parker fight. Maybe there's more money in it. I am somewhat intrigued by Parker versus Andrade. You know, just because I don't really know how good Parker is, but I was more interested in Janabek versus Andrade, just because I rate Janabek more than Parker, really. Yeah, I think Devin will be better at 140 in regards to his strength. I agree with that. I think the weight cut takes it out of him to a certain extent. You know, that's the sacrifice you make though when you cut all that weight and you're big for a weight class. You're going to lose some attributes. You're bound to lose some attributes. Yeah, do you mean Luke Keeler, Colin, or Jay Quigley? What's up, Brandon? Man, hopefully you're keeping well. No worries, bro. You know you've got your own life. You've got your own things to deal with. And yeah, you was mentioning working at the immigration law firm. Hopefully it's going well, Brandon. Man, sounds like a good gig. It sounds like a good gig. Sounds interesting. I'd hope so, Lee. I would hope so. Yeah, he does cut a lot of weight. Yeah, I think that's part of why Haney gets hurt, or he's been hurt by like lesser punchers, because he cuts a lot of fucking weight. Exactly. Yeah, get the paycheck in. Facts. That sounds interesting, man. I know you DM'd me on Discord the other day, like certain cases that you're dealing with. That's interesting. It's interesting, man. Yeah, he will need to start early. I agree. Hard times. He'll need to get to that body early if he wants to stop Golovkin. He needs to kind of keep to his word and go for it early. Because if he kind of boxes cautiously early on and then puts it on Golovkin, I think Golovkin survives. Yeah, based boxing basement would squash Sonny in the street. I fought in the university boys at 175 and I'm 6'5". I was 2 rounds up in a 3 rounder and took a flush one to the chin, iced, was walking 200 then 190, 5 weeks out. Fucking hell. Damn. At least you did it though, bro. At least you actually fought. Like I've not competed, I've only trained. I think he's got the style to do it, Lee, and a lot of it with Martinez as well is how much that Chocolatito fight took out of him. But he's relentless. He's strong. He's young enough to where that beating shouldn't affect him, but it could affect his confidence. The thing I worry about with Sonny is keeping Martinez honest, and it's keeping him off him. Because if you look at the fight with Wasim was getting to the body of Sonny Edwards, but he couldn't make it pay. If that's Martinez, I don't know. I don't know. It's a great fight, though. It's a great fight. Hopefully it gets signed. Cambosos can't cut a ring off to save his life. You'd think he would know that Haney was going to run. What the hell is that guy doing in camp finger painting? Yeah, I mean, that's why I was so convinced that he was going to lose that fight. Like every time somebody's shown him a bit of movement in his pro career, he's kind of struggled. Like in certain points in the Lee Selby fight, certain points of the Mickey Bay fight as well. He's not a great pressure fighter. He's a mid-range, somewhat aggressive counterpuncher, I would say. You know, likes to kind of get in exchanges and draw the lead, but he's not a pressure fighter. But he needs to be in this rematch. He needs to try and change his style and be more of a pressure guy. That's what he needs to do. But will he do it? I don't think he's got the skill set to do it. Yeah, and that's another thing as well. Like lighter weight UK guys or British guys don't tend to do well against that sort of Mexican pressure. They just don't in like the light weight classes. It's just been, it's one of those things. Come and get some minge at Notting Hill Carnival. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Cambosos was never that good. He countered a Lopez who was more open than a slag down Soho on a Friday night. I agree. I think he caught Lopez at a really good time. I said that after the fight as well, like right after it. Yeah, Golovkin's got a ridiculous chin. That's why even now it's going to be a struggle for Canelo to stop him. But if he does, he needs to target that body early on. Oh yeah, it's going to happen, bro. It's going to happen. But why would they take a point? Cambosos now, his star is burnt out already. Haney's where the money's at. That's just what it is. Even if it's in Australia, long term, I'm sure the establishment wants Haney. And I think Bob wants that Lomachenko fight as well. One second, guys. Thoughts on Smith versus Rankinho? I think Smith will win on points, but I think he's got that banana skin vibe about it. Yeah, I mean, Rankinho is a hard one to judge because he came over and blasted out Sam Eggington. But I've got a hunch that it was a fluke, and I wouldn't be surprised if Smith goes through him relatively easily, maybe a mid-round stoppage. He's very gangly, Rankinho, but he carries a bit of power. I think he'll come to throw down, but I think Liam's a bit too cute. Nice tight guard. I think he'll roll with the shots, get on the inside, and do his thing. I've got Smith by mid-round stoppage, but Rankinho will come to fight. Basically, it means a potentially a tricky fight. It's like a British slang phrase, I guess you would say. Like if something's a banana skin, it could be a risk. Guys. Okay, let me just fucking... Got a million of one things on. Sorry, guys. Shakur versus Robson, a snooze fest or intriguing chess match? It'd be interesting because, Robson is he's actually quite a bit taller and longer than Shakur. And, this really should have always been the fight because Robson beat Oscar Valdez. And there was excitement for the Valdez fight. So, I think it's a good opponent for Shakur Stevenson. I think it's a solid opponent. Robson Conceição is a genuine top 10 contender at super featherweight. And he deserves his shot, in my opinion. Deserves his shot. So, yeah, I like the fight. I think it's going to be a chess match. And I think Shakur outpoints him. But, it'll be interesting to see him against a guy who is quite a bit taller, quite a bit longer. I know Jamel Herring was, I think, but, Conceição's a better fighter, in my opinion. So, it'll be interesting. I think it's a decent fight. It's always a way on DAZN, Lee. It's always the way. It's always the way. That's one good thing. Tell you what, that's one thing you can't complain about the PBC. We have our complaints about them, but they don't put those sort of fights on, to be fair to them. Al Heyman is based. Based Al Heyman. But yeah, I mean, it's going crazy now. Every single card, there's a female fight. Very good prospect. You mean the lightweight, Ralph? You're talking about the lightweight? Do you mean Josue, Venezuela? Good fight, that. I've got Dan Aziz, though. I think Dan Aziz stops him late. It's a good fight. Yeah, Al Heyman's based. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's one good thing about PBC. At least you're not going to get that sort of thing. And again, if you like it, I'm not gonna judge anybody for liking it. It's just not my scene. It's not my jazz, as they say. It's just, to me, the whole thing with female boxing, it just seems extremely forced. It's it's not a natural, it's not a natural growth. Like with the UFC with women, that was kind of natural how that kind of panned out. But with boxing, it just seems like a big. It feels like do you know what it feels like? It feels like a social experiment. That's what it feels like. And it's just not for me. By the way, guys, who have you got in the Comey Pedraza fight? Who have you got in the Comey Pedraza fight? I've got Pedraza on points, but I think it's an interesting fight. I like both guys, man. I like both guys. Both guys are, again, these are guys who don't really get spoken about, but they're guys who will fight anybody, and both guys are class acts as well. Carry themselves like real fighters, which I like. But I think Pedraza's a better boxer. Comey is the stronger man, bigger puncher. But I'd probably say Pedraza on points, but it's an interesting fight. It's an interesting fight. I think Venezuela's more skilled. Yes, 10-rounder, by the way, crazy. Yeah, I've got Pedraza on points as well. Yeah, Comey always comes to throw down, man. He always comes to throw down. And he seems like a nice guy as well. Always super respectful. But so is Pedraza. Pedraza's the same, just a respectful guy. And he'll fight anybody. Which is what you want in boxing, man. It's all you really ask for, isn't it? It's all you ask for. Do you think there are any heavyweight contenders outside of Usyk, Fury, and Wilder who've got a good chance of beating Joshua? So who is there? White, no. Hergovich, no. Zhang, no. Dubois, no. Joe Joyce, maybe. Joe Joyce, maybe, has a chance. And believe it or not, I think Frank Sanchez will give Joshua fits. Whether he wins or not, I don't know. But I think Frank Sanchez and his style gives Joshua fits. It's so, I would say, Nabzilla. It's so. It's all right. I don't think it's the golden era that people paint it out to be. I've just got this vision of like Sanchez being really cagey, really awkward. Joshua kind of follows him around the ring, gets kind of picked off with a jab, has some moments where he struggles, but Joshua could overpower him. But stylistically, I think Frank Sanchez gives him a lot of trouble. Joyce, I agree with. Wallin, I can't see it, to be honest. I think Fury made Wallin look a lot better than he is. Dubois, not sold on Dubois. Makhmudov, power-wise, yeah. But defensively, Makhmudov is a little bit suspect to me, I'll be real. Yeah, and that's the thing with Makhmudov. He's a bit of a plodder. And again, he's got that low lead hand. He's really telegraphed at times. Yeah. Yeah, Sanchez is a weird one, like I was saying earlier. He's so awkward and he's very mobile for a guy of his size. Yeah, and also was it who fucking someone hurt him badly in the World Series of Boxing? It might have been Mihai Nistor. Let me have a look at his record. Artlenbeck Makhmudov. Imagine if you saw this guy like in a dark alley, like approaching you, you'd fucking run the other way. Another thing about Makhmudov, I will say this now as well. He's got a very small head for a big man. And usually that means you've got a bad chin. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure it was Mihai Nistor. I think Mihai Nistor, because I think he beat Mihai Nistor, but he got hurt badly. Yeah, it was Mihai Nistor. Yeah, it was. Yeah, you're right. He's got great skills, but over 12 rounds, I am very skeptical. I mean, it's possible, Steven Schneider, that he doesn't fight fucking Usyk and he fights Francis Ngannou or some bullshit like that. Yeah, I think AJ gets to him first. But just due to power, Makhmudov is dangerous, but he's very open. Very open. Fuck. But yeah, I agree with you on Jalalov, yeah. But he's got lovely skills. He does have lovely skills and he's got real power. He moves well for a guy of 6'7", southpaw. He can box, he can punch. Maybe he just needs time to adjust to the 12-round format, get his stamina up and adjust a few things with his style. But he's definitely a guy to watch out for. He's got a lot of skill. Is there any footage of Bivol fighting southpaws? I don't think he's fought a southpaw as a pro. I'm certain of it. Not at world title level anyway. That's a good fight, by the way, though. Bivol versus Ramirez. It's a good fight. November the 5th. It's a great fight. Yeah, we was talking about this earlier. Dubois and White. I think it might be that could be one of those fights where the timing's right for Dubois. I'm not sold on Dubois in many aspects. Like, what happens if Dillian catches him? I'll be interested. But what I will say is, if Dubois lands a fully fledged punch on Dillian White at this stage, I'm convinced he goes down. I think his chin is totally gone. I really do. Yep. Kunkumbayev and Gadzi Magomedov. Yeah. Muslim Gadzi Magomedov. Yeah. The next killers at 200. The cruiserweights. Yeah. I think Gadzi Magomedov could be better than Kunkumbayev, from what I've seen at least. But I felt he won it as well, Stephen. I felt Zhang won. Hergovich's social credit score's gone down after that. You know, robbery is not looked upon well in China. His social credit score's gone downhill. Do you know what I mean? No worries, Larry, man. I'll try and stream more. I need to stream more. I spoke to Stephen Ward, and he said Kunkumbayev hit like a mule, like obscene power, and he sparred Okolie as well. Yeah, Dave Allen versus Dillian White rematch. The fight we've been waiting for. One thing about Dillian White, though, like his chin has got so bad now where like he might not sustain punishment, kind of like the David Price effect. You know David Price, he got knocked out brutally so many times. But if you listen to him speak, he doesn't slur. He sounds like if you never knew he was a boxer, you wouldn't guess it. He speaks perfectly fine. And I'm convinced that's because he got knocked out so quickly all the time. Like saved him from punishment. Maybe Dillian could luck out in that way. That's what it's looking like right now. But to be fair, Dillian's had a lot of hard fights. He's taken punishment. Prolonged punishment, I mean. That's the thing. Like White's got a lot more experience, and White can still, if he gets on that in that grill and starts throwing body shots and shit and getting rough and ready, is Dubois going to respond? Don't know. And how can Dubois take the power? It's not just Dillian White's chin; it's Dubois as well. So that's a great fight. That's actually a really, really good fight. It's probably the best fight for both guys right now. Like Dubois would have a win over like a former relevant contender and a big name. Whereas if Dillian White beats Dubois, it's a win over an up-and-comer, which kind of puts him in a decent or a better position. Lawrence Okolie, the world's richest slave. I think him and Eddie made up. That's what I heard. Fuck it, just put on Daniel Dubois. I think there's a screw missing with Daniel. Proper Chris Benoit shit. Fucking hell. Hopefully it doesn't end that way. I think he's a nice kid, Dubois. I think he's a nice kid. You know, I think the whole cameras and lights, I don't think it's for him. I think he's a bit socially awkward. No shit, you know, no shit, but... Charles Martin could happen. I would not be shocked. I would not be shocked. But again, to me, it has to be Andy Ruiz if Ruiz beats Ortiz. Has to be Andy Ruiz. If Wilder beats Helenius and Ruiz beats Ortiz, has to be Andy Ruiz Wilder. Makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense, to me at least. To me, it makes sense. But what the fuck do I know? I'm just a boxing fan asking for good fights, you know? What the fuck do I know? Sick. Okay. Yeah. That was kind of funny though. Like it kind of the build up to that fight was kind of awkward but fun at the same time. Yeah, Ruiz Wilder will do good numbers. Like you've got the Wilder fans who are still out there, and obviously like if a Mexican guy's in a big fight, that the Hispanic crowd are going to support it. You're probably right. Ruiz versus Wilder is the biggest all-American heavyweight fight since the 2000s. You're right. Like, what would be the last big American heavyweight fight? I'm trying to think. So you've had I guess it's like maybe some of the later Evander Holyfield fights. Maybe Holyfield versus Tony. Holyfield versus Ruiz. Like John Ruiz, that is. That's a very good point. Is it the biggest American heavyweight fight since Tyson versus Holyfield? It probably is. If you think about it. It probably is. That's mad when you think about it like that. I can't think of any bigger. Wilder's English skills are better than his gas tank or footwork. Or as he says, feet work. That wasn't a big deal, no. Honestly, if Wilder and Ruiz fight next, let's say both guys win their next fights, as crazy as it sounds, it probably is the biggest American heavyweight fight since Tyson versus Holyfield. I'm not saying it's bigger because it obviously isn't, but probably the biggest fight since then, like American heavyweight fight. It's crazy when you think about it that way because, again, what have you got? You've got Holyfield versus Tony, Holyfield, John Ruiz. There's not really many to pick from. Oh, what's up, Boxing Squad? How you doing? Hopefully you're keeping well, bro. Hopefully you're keeping well on this fine Friday. Morning where you are. Evening where I am. Might be Roy Jones. Roy Jones, John Ruiz. That's a good shout. That's probably right. That's probably right. How many pay-per-view buys did Roy Jones Ruiz do? Yeah, that did. Apparently, that did 525,000 pay-per-view buys on HBO. So yeah, that's a better comparison. So Wilder versus Ruiz is the biggest fight in American heavyweight boxing since Roy Jones versus John Ruiz. Yeah, that's a good shout. Goes to show though, like where American heavyweight boxing's been at. It goes to show they've had Wilder, obviously. They had Chris Bird, Chris Bird was underrated. He had a good career. But yeah, the last couple of decades in American heavyweight boxing since Tyson and Holyfield hasn't been great. At the minute, you've got Jared Anderson coming up, who is interesting. Outside of Jared Anderson, there's really not much there in terms of prospects. You've got Stephen Shaw, who's okay. Richard Torres, maybe. Holyfield Mora too. That's a great question. Might be too fucking long ago to find out. Apparently, Showtime said that the fight did about 700,000 pay-per-view buys. Holyfield versus Mora too. Yeah, Wilder versus Brazil. Yeah, he fought at middleweight in the amateurs, yeah, and yeah, basically put on weight to fight at heavyweight, yeah. And if you look at he had a good resume. I mean, he got an official win over Vitaly Klitschko, regardless of how that fight played out. I mean, yes, it's a boxing match, but it's also a fight, and in the fight, Chris Bird outlasted Vitaly Klitschko. It's a legit win as far as I'm concerned. But if you look at his resume, I mean, I think he beat Holyfield. He beat David Tua, I'm sure. Beat Vitaly, obviously. Beat Jamil McCline, Freza Quendo. I mean, he's got a decent resume, to be fair to him. And even the fights he lost, I mean, losing against Povetkin, Vladimir twice, Ike Abuche. The guy basically did all he could. And considering his size or his disadvantage in size, had a very good career. Very good career. Yeah, I think Bird was Mando at one point. And I think, yeah, Lennox might have vacated. I think that was for WBA. Maybe I'm wrong. Or did he vacate for WBA because Ruiz was Mando? I forget how it worked out. I wasn't even around. I wasn't following it, but I've read about it. But anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap this one up. We've been going for nearly 2 hours, so I'm going to wrap it up. But yeah, I'll try and stream more. I know I keep on saying that, but yeah, I need to get more active on this channel. But yeah, have a good weekend, guys. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Peace.